If you're a parent today, you're navigating a world that, let's be honest, we just didn't grow up in. It's a world of screens, apps, and constant connection. It's a whole new frontier for parenting, and it can feel, well, pretty overwhelming. So let's dive right in. And if you've ever felt that way, you are so not alone. A recent Ipsos survey found that a massive 70% of parents feel overwhelmed by all this technology in their kids' lives. That's huge. This isn't just a small annoyance, it's a real major source of stress for modern families. So, here's what we're going to cover in this explainer. We're going to look at this new reality we're all facing. Then we'll define what cyber parenting even is. We'll get real about the dangers. And then, the important part, we'll get into actual strategies and tools you can use. And we'll wrap it all up with a look towards the future. Okay, so first up, let's just get a handle on the scale of this new reality. Why is this topic so important right now? What's the why behind all the worry? Okay, get ready for this number. 7.5 hours. That's not a week. That is the average amount of time kids between 8 and 18 spend on screens every single day. That's more time than they spend in school. I mean, other than sleeping, what else do they do for that long? This is way more than just a habit. For many, it's like living a second life. So with kids plugged in for that many hours, it's absolutely no surprise that what parents worry about has shifted. The top concerns now? Mental health and bullying. And you can see that the impact of technology itself is right up there. It's kind of the central paradox of being a kid today, right? The same tech that connects them is also the source of our deepest anxieties. So if that's the reality, how in the world do we navigate it? Well, a new framework is starting to take shape to help us deal with all this. It's called cyber parenting. And this definition is really key. It's not about banning technology or fighting this losing battle against screens. It's about integration. It's about teaching our kids how to live a full, balanced life with technology being a part of it, not the whole of it. So what does that actually look like day to day? Well, it means you're playing two roles at once. You're both a guide and a guardian. You're the one having those frank, sometimes awkward conversations about online dangers. But you're also the one making sure there's time for offline adventures, for just being a kid. It's all about finding that balance. Now, to be an effective cyber parent, you really have to understand the specific threats out there. And one of the biggest, most damaging dangers lurking in the digital world is definitely cyberbullying. UNICEF gives us a really straightforward definition. It's bullying, but with technology. And it can happen absolutely anywhere our kids hang out online, on social media, in their text messages, on gaming platforms, you name it. And here's what is so crucial to understand. Cyberbullying is not just the 21st century version of schoolyard bullying. It's a totally different animal. Bullying at school might end when the bell rings, but cyberbullying follows a kid home. It's in their pocket, in their bedroom, 24/7. It can be anonymous, and it leaves a digital trail that can feel impossible to escape. And the consequences are just devastating. Mentally, a child can feel constantly afraid and on edge. Emotionally, it can make them feel ashamed and just steal the joy from the things they used to love. And get this, it even shows up physically. We're talking loss of sleep, stomach aches, headaches. This is so much more than kids being kids. It's a serious health issue. Okay, I know that was a lot to take in, but now that we understand the risks, let's talk solutions. Let's talk about the playbook. And it all starts, maybe surprisingly, not with tech, but with simple communication. This is the number one rule, the absolute foundation. Before you ever ask your kid to put down their phone, you have to be willing to put down yours. Our kids are watching us all the time, and if they see us glued to a screen, any rules we try to set just won't stick. They'll just seem unfair. So the next practical step is to create a family media plan. And this isn't you just laying down the law, it's a family conversation. You talk about the rules together. You create sacred spaces, like the dinner table is a tech-free zone, period. And most importantly, the rules apply to everyone. Yes, that means you too. Consistency is everything. This quote from a parent really gets to the heart of why we do all this. The goal isn't just control. It's about giving our kids freedom, the freedom to explore their interests, to change their minds, and to know that their life is so much bigger than what's happening on a screen. And we have to remember it's not all bad news. Technology can be an amazing tool for connection, for learning, for creativity, for finding your people. So our core job as a cyber parent isn't to take technology away. It's to help our kids navigate it, to get all these awesome benefits while staying safe from the dangers.
Okay, so beyond communication, your playbook also has a technology section. So let's talk about the actual digital tools you can use to help create that healthy balance at home.
You've basically got three types of tools to choose from. First, you have the built-in controls that come free with most devices, like Apple Screen Time. Then, there are third-party apps you can subscribe to, and they usually offer way more advanced features. And finally, you can even set up controls directly on your Wi-Fi router to cover every device in the house. So, what should you be looking for in these tools? Well, think of them as the tech that backs up your family plan. You'll want things like content filters, screen time limits, and the ability to block certain apps. And those activity reports, they're not for spying. They're for starting conversations. They give you a chance to check in and talk about what your kids are seeing online. So, as we wrap up, where does all this leave us? How do we take all this and actually parent the next generation in a way that feels right? This statement from UNICEF is just so powerful. The apps, the filters, the rules, they're all helpful support systems, but they are not the solution. The solution is an engaged, aware parent. You are the single most effective tool in your child's digital toolkit. And that really brings us to our final big question. What if we tried to reframe this whole challenge? Instead of seeing screen time as something we have to fight against, what if we could transform it into an opportunity for connection? What if we watched with them, talked with them, and used their digital world as a bridge to their real one? That's how we change the dynamic from conflict to collaboration.